A police officer is supposed to uphold the law, protect people, serve justice. But this one? She became a monster. Her name is Rosemary, a police sergeant in South Africa. To her colleagues, she seemed normal, just another cop going about her daily duties. But behind closed doors, Rosemary was hiding a dark and dangerous secret. She had a gambling addiction, a serious one. And like most addicts, she was in deep debt. But her creditors weren't just regular banks or friendly neighborhood lenders. No, these were loan sharks, and they don't send reminders. They send threats. Rosemary was drowning in debt, and time was running out. She needed money fast, and in 2012, she came up with a plan so evil, so twisted, that it's hard to believe a police officer could even think of it. Her solution? Murder, and not just any murder. She would kill her own cousin and collect the life insurance payout. As we continue, if you like original true crime stories, then please click on the subscribe button and the bell notification, as well as please like and share this video. We post true crime stories like this every 2 days, and we will want you to be the first to see when we make new videos on this page. Now back to Rosemary first. She takes out a policy on him, and surprisingly, in South Africa, there doesn't seem to be much due diligence on these policies. Almost no interviews, no background checks, just approved. Now all she has to do is carry out the plan. So one day she convinces her cousin to meet her in a remote field. Maybe she tells him she needs help with something. Maybe she plays on their family bond. Either way, he trusts her. But when they arrive, everything changes. She picks up a huge rock, and boom, she swings it at his head. He stumbles, confused, in pain. But she doesn't stop. She hits him again and again until he's gone. And just like that, Rosemary cashes in. 131,000 Rand, about $7,000. And here's the scariest part. No one suspects a thing. She walks away free, and in her mind, the plan worked perfectly. But now a new thought creeps in. If it worked once, why not do it again? 15 months pass. The money is probably gone by now, and Rosemary is hungry for more. This time, she sets her sights on someone even closer, her own sister. She takes out life and funeral insurance policies in her sister's name, but this time, she takes it a step further. She pretends to be her own sister when setting them up. And of course, the beneficiary, Rosemary herself. Once the papers are signed, all that's left is to finish the job. One evening, Rosemary invites her sister over. They're going to have tea together, just a normal family moment, or so her sister thinks. But Rosemary has other plans. She tells her, "Go buy some bread, I'll stay here and make the tea." The moment her sister walks out the door, Rosemary gets to work. She pulls out a mysterious substance, something deadly, and spikes the tea. By the time her sister returns, the trap is set. She sits down, drinks the tea, and nothing happens. At least not right away. Maybe the poison was too weak. Maybe it wasn't working fast enough. Either way, Rosemary doesn't have time to wait, so she does the unthinkable. She strangles her own sister, and once again, she collects the insurance payout. This time, she walks away with 77,000 Rand, roughly $39,000. At this point, she's on a roll. 2 murders, 2 payouts, and still, no one suspects her. Now she could have stopped here, but she doesn't, because now she knows something. Killing people is profitable. For a while, Rosemary lays low. Maybe she's enjoying her money, maybe she's planning her next move. But by 2015, she's ready to strike again. And this time, she targets her own boyfriend. But this isn't just another one-time job. No, Rosemary is thinking bigger. She doesn't just take out one insurance policy, she takes out 16 different life and funeral insurance policies in his name. At this point, she's so confident in her system that she doesn't even bother to do it herself. This time, she hires a hitman, and one night, as her boyfriend steps outside his house, it happens. A dark figure emerges from the shadows. He's holding something, a weapon. And in a split second, boom, a hitman standing in his yard, aiming a gun right at the boyfriend. He pulls the trigger, but click, the gun jams. The boyfriend is lucky, and the hitman runs off, leaving him safe for now. but trouble is just around the corner. One day while taking a nap, the boyfriend wakes up to a loud bang. His house is on fire. In a panic, he rushes outside and escapes just in time. Later, investigators find 4 bottles filled with fuel hidden under his bed, planted by Rosemary, his girlfriend, who wanted him to burn alive. After 2 brushes with death, the boyfriend decides he can't take it anymore. He breaks up with Rosemary and moves out, wanting to leave all the chaos behind. But the danger isn't over yet. Weeks later, while out and about, he is confronted by someone with a knife. Stab, stab, stab. He is attacked repeatedly, suffering 76 stab wounds. It becomes clear that Rosemary is behind this brutal act. Soon after, she collects an insurance payout of 131,000 Rand, about $7,000, from his death. But Rosemary doesn't stop there. In 2016, she kills her own niece, beating her to death, and collects another insurance payment of around $6,500. Then her toddler daughter dies under strange circumstances, raising questions about Rosemary's role in it. Next, she targets her nephew, who also meets a tragic end. So far, Rosemary has allegedly caused the deaths of 6, maybe even 7 family members, collecting over 1.4 million Rand, or about $76,000. What drives someone to do such terrible things? Is it greed, desperation, or something more sinister? Tell us your opinion in the comments below. Have you experienced someone this evil, or even close to Rosemary's addictions and eventual evils? Let us learn from you. Put it in the comments. Rosemary had been getting away with murder, literally for years. Every time a family member died, she conveniently ended up with a hefty insurance payout. But for the longest time, no one seemed to put the pieces together. That is, until a sharp-eyed police sergeant started to grow suspicious. This sergeant, noticing the unsettling pattern, decided to dig deeper. He reached out to various insurance companies, requesting records of payouts linked to Rosemary's deceased relatives. And sure enough, the more he investigated, the clearer the pattern became. Rosemary was always the beneficiary. Every single time someone in her family met an untimely end, she was cashing in. It was too much of a coincidence to ignore. However, suspicion alone wasn't enough to charge her. The authorities needed solid evidence, something that directly tied her to the murders. But while the police were quietly investigating, Rosemary wasn't slowing down. If anything, she was ramping things up. Her next plan? To wipe out an entire branch of her family tree. This time, she wasn't targeting just 1 or 2 people. She had her sights set on her own mother, her sister, and all 5 of her sister's children. 7 people. A massacre. And since this was a much bigger job than what she had done before, she decided she couldn't handle it alone. She needed help. So she reached out to a hitman. She explained her plan, likely expecting him to take the money and carry out the job without question. But this time, she miscalculated. The hitman had a conscience. Or maybe he just realized how insane this whole thing was. Instead of going through with the murders, he went straight to the police and reported her. With this information, law enforcement set up a sting operation. The hitman agreed to meet with Rosemary again, but this time, he wouldn't be alone. He was wired, recording every word of their conversation, and an undercover cop posing as a second hitman joined the meeting. Rosemary, completely unaware, spoke freely about her gruesome plan, unaware that her every word was being captured as evidence. And just like that, the authorities had exactly what they needed. With her confession caught on tape, there was no escaping justice this time. The police swooped in and arrested her on the spot. But here's where things get even darker. Up until now, everyone assumed Rosemary's killing spree started with the murder of her boyfriend. But as the investigation continued, an even more chilling theory emerged. Years before any of this, Rosemary had been married. Her husband had died under what were called mysterious circumstances, and at the time, no one thought much of it. Now people were starting to wonder, was his death truly an accident, or had Rosemary been responsible for that too? And then there was her baby son. Years ago, he had also passed away, allegedly due to poisoning. At the time, no one suspected foul play. But now, after everything she had done, suddenly his death didn't seem like a tragedy. It seemed like yet another insurance scam. One by one, people started re-examining every single person who had died around Rosemary. It became terrifyingly clear that anyone even remotely close to her had a disturbingly high chance of ending up dead. And now people were questioning just how many victims she had claimed. In the end, Rosemary was sentenced to life in prison, justice at last. But the sheer scale of her crimes, killing her own family members, her boyfriend, possibly her husband, and even her own child, left a permanent stain on history. It's the kind of horror story that reminds you some people will do anything for money. And in Rosemary's case, it didn't matter if the victims were the people who were supposed to be closest to her.